Good evening. Good evening, good evening. I think that's about right. Hopefully microphone's working okay. Yep, seems to be working okay. Sorry about that. Trying to get that microphone. There we go. I think that's fine. Yep. Okay. Right. Enough testing, enough messing around. Okay, right, today's task is to complete the Victorian house. But very, very quickly, what I wanted to show was, God, it's very cold today here in the UK. What I wanted to show was I showed about the rocks, and I thought, I wonder whether the same would apply to like a massive rock. What if I blew the rock up really big? Because the other rocks were, pretty small in comparison. I think they were about maybe 2 meters maximum that I was playing around with. And then I thought, what if I blow this really big, as in it's nearly 8 meters, and so it's nearly 8 meters long, 6.5 meters wide, which is a pretty big rock. I mean, and I thought, I wonder, could the same thing apply? And sure enough, it did. So what I made was obviously a high poly rock, which is this one here, and this has got 24,500 triangles on it. So that's the high poly rock. If you have a look at what that looks like, now forget the what it actually looks like, because, well, actually, why don't I just switch it back? Forget what that looks like, because obviously I've altered it, I've messed around with it in order to get a low poly. So this was the high poly. I was very pleased with how the material came out. Obviously set up lighting and such like before I baked the material onto the low poly, and this is the low poly. Now I should have really altered the geometry a little bit, because obviously I knocked the geometry right down. Can't remember how many tries are in this now. 242. So we went from 24,000 down to 242, which is probably pushing it a little bit. I didn't need to go down, I could have probably gone to about 500. But anyway, I just thought, I'm going to really push this. I baked the high poly mesh texture and nodes, node textures onto the low poly, and it came out perfect. It came out really, really good, apart from the fact that some of the geometry I didn't go in here and change. I should have done. I should have really stopped these peaks and troughs, and I just used a decimate let's knock it down onto the texture view, so it's a bit faster. So I should have really changed the geometry. You can see this here. You can see that geometry there, that kind of really sharp, and I should have really tidied that up. But I just did it as an exercise to see if it was going to work, and it worked perfect. So there's a few places that I could have really tidied up the geometry a bit and made the stone a bit flatter, and I think I would not have put the tries down quite so much. But I brought it into Second Life, and it was about 4 land impact, so a pretty big rock, really. with what, in my opinion, an excellent texture on it, really, for such a low poly. Yeah, you see there's another sharp, and I should have really sorted that out, but... And when you look at it in Second Life, it does look a bit... it looks a bit manky. It's, you know... I should really have altered the geometry on the low poly first. But anyway, that aside, I just wanted to show, really, you know, a couple of things that I do. You might wonder why I've got this white plane down here. Well, when you burn textures, when you bake textures, not burn them, when you bake textures, you need to set up the lighting to make it look the way you want it when the texture is baked. So it's like the texture is like an image, and then when you bake that, it's called baking in Blender. When you bake that out and it produces an image that gets wrapped around this object, it looks the way you expect it to look. So you can kind of preview what it's going to look like by going into rendered view, and that's pretty much exactly how it looks. But of course, you know, rocks don't have these sharp edges on them, and that's why I should have really altered the geometry a little bit before I baked it out, like that, for instance. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily get that, and you've got these really sharp edges down here, because basically it's quite a large object, and I brought the geometry down too much, decimated it a little bit too much. But anyway, you know, it was an exercise. Now, why am I waffling on about this? I'm waffling on about this because I wanted to see if I could create, you know, a base for the lighthouse, because I was going to put it on rock, and I thought, what if I just create a piece of, you know, something in Blender that is random, because this is what the nodes do. All these nodes here. I'm learning a little bit more about how to go into various different view modes. I can't remember now what it is. Is it Shift F10? No. Right, okay, so it's Shift F3. I don't know. Sometimes these keys don't actually work. Shader editor. Okay. If I go into the shader editor, you can see that, you know, it's pretty complicated. The node structure is pretty complicated, but I just thought, okay, it worked on little tiny rocks. Would it work on a big rock? And sure enough, it did. And then I thought, well, you know, I'm gonna make the geometry really quite complicated, and then it just kept working. So I thought, wow, you know, this is really, really neat, because pretty much everything in here can be altered around. So I'm going to use this. Like, I'm a big believer in, you know, don't keep reinventing the wheel. If you do something and it works, then why not use that again in another build? I just thought, you know, that's what I'll do then. So anyway, that's that. So I'm gonna make a nice rock. I'm gonna just make a really big rock structure that will be jutting out of the sea, and probably make some smaller rocks, you know, and make it look like this massive lighthouse is on a rock that looks like that, which I think would be quite impressive, really. So anyway, we're up to revision K on the Victorian house, and I mean, if you have been following this series, I mean, this is, you know, this is not a small build, and I'm only really ever doing this when I stream. So, you know, if I was to do this and spend some, you know, a day, I'm sure I could probably get the whole thing done in probably half a day from start to finish if I really focused on it. But, you know, it's a little bit of a project really for streaming. That's my thought anyway. And I noticed when I look back, which is quite interesting really, I noticed when I look back on my video, because I don't watch my, you know, the whole of my videos, but I just think, you know, what did it look like, and how was the volume, and is the music playing, and all that kind of stuff. And I have a habit of kind of tightening up my mouth for some reason, so I think it's when I concentrate. When I concentrate, I tend to sort of tighten up my mouth, and I'm kind of frowning an awful lot. And I think the other thing is I had the lights angled, and they were kind of shining in my face, and so I probably look. To me, I looked like I was quite miserable and angry, and that's not me at all. And I think I am light sensitive, and so I was kind of frowning a lot like this, and I'm a jolly chap really. But, now I am in my background music. I am playing. It calls itself royalty-free music and no copyright music. Okay, and it'll be very, very interesting because so far I have only found 4 pieces of music that I like to play in the background, and they are the only ones that I don't get any strikes on. And what's interesting is when I don't get any strikes on Twitch, and when I upload the video, exactly the same videos to YouTube, I get strikes on them. I get claims on them. So I don't. I think this whole royalty-free music and no copyright music is a load of BS, to be honest with you, because it just doesn't seem to make sense. Creative Commons and all that kind of stuff. I just think it's a load of rubbish. Anyway, right, stop waffling and get on. I'm going to do pretty much the same as I did the last time. I'm going to probably... I need to keep an eye on my microphone because that's something that keeps disappearing for some reason. But unless anyone's going to say anything in chat, I'm just going to work. I'm just going to get on and work really. So I will keep an eye on chat every now and then. I can't stop talking anyway, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm just one of these people. I naturally talk a lot. So we got up to doing quite a lot last time. So if we just hide the basement, we did the fireplaces. If we hide the chimneys, what I'm going to work on today is the stairs. I need to get the stairs sorted. Let's just hide the roof. I think my next house, I'm definitely going to do some grand stairs that will, that will go up and then will split at the top. I think it is a bit of a shame that I can't, that there just isn't enough space I mean, you don't build houses around the size of stairs, but I don't want to make these any smaller because then the sizing will be wrong in Second Life. So okay, I'm thinking what's going to be the best way of boxing that off. I don't want to put yet more geometry in there really. Ooh, I know what I can do. Let's try. What I was gonna do was do something like this. Actually, I don't need the sides, do I? That's the thing. I don't really need the sides. You know what? I need very little. I only need that much geometry. Really. I can feel myself doing it again. I'm kind of frowning and pulling faces. I need to be aware that that's what I'm doing. Do I just add okay, I think I don't want to make this too complicated. I just thought I could build, you know, the cover for the stairs, and then there would be a door on the end that will go down to the basement or the cellar. I'm inclined to just keep it simple. I think that's the thing to do, is just keep it simple. Okay, I think that's the thing to do. Now I learnt the other day. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Shortcut for that. That's really quite neat. Right. Because I tend to I click on that and then I forget to click back on the box select again, and I then end up putting the cursor somewhere else, and I do it every time. It's just one of those things. I think what I'm gonna do is Let's just do a plane. I think that's the best thing to do. So rotate Y 90. Let's just so it doesn't need to go that far, does it? So as long as it goes that far, you know, this always reminds me when I first started watching people doing Blender, and I used to think, oh my goodness, that's not, you know, what on earth is they doing? They're putting this bit of mesh in, and it doesn't seem to correspond with what they're trying to do. And you do have to think out of the box, it really, with Blender, and it does push your way of thinking. There is no doubt about that. It definitely it definitely. Oh, I've done it again. What did I do? What is it I'm doing? I don't know what key I'm pressing that does that. It's very strange. It's very odd because I now can't seem to select that. I don't know what it is that I'm pressing that's doing that. It's very, very unnerving. Is it just me? I'm doing it again. I concentrate and I tend to tighten up my lips. I must be aware, more aware. But is it me or do I look very red? I mean, I'm not hot. I think it's because my skin is so pale and I just look really red. Yeah, I do look very red. Looks a bit better. Anyway, not that I'm vain, but it just looks a bit weird when I look so red, and I'm not really that red. Okay, that's quite convenient. That is actually not too bad at all. So that's actually pretty neat. So I need to add a modifier to this. To solidify it, I need to give it a little bit of thickness. Actually, we want to go the other way. Why is the offset? Make it too thick. That's interesting, isn't it? We seem to have picked that. Why is that part of the floor? What? That's interesting. Why is that part? I've added it to the floor. Inadvertently, I have added it to the floor. Right. That was a bit daft. Let's just separate that by selection. I may have inadvertently clicked on the floor, and then when you add mesh, if you're in edit mode, the mesh gets added to the last thing you clicked on, and it can be, you know, obviously it then becomes part of that. Like for instance, I was doing the doors, so then I put the lock on and then the handle. Well, I wanted to just keep adding that to the door. I must have just accidentally clicked on that. That's fine. I wondered why that was So now I'll add the modifier. That's better. So I need to make the thickness. Don't want to make it too thick. That's fine. That thickness is fine. A lot of that is going to be it's interesting, it's coming through, so I need to drop that down very slightly. That's fine. What I might be able to do is I might be able to bring It's interesting, isn't it? Because it goes just underneath there. Okay. Think. I mean, the only other thing I can do is I can subdivide this. Let's just add 2 vertices in there. No, not 3, 2. Go. Right. What I'm going to have to do is bring that one down there, I think, and that one up there. Now I can drop that line down below. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, I think it's because there we go. That's fine. See, now this is me just trying to reduce the geometry down, and this is a little bit of cheating, really, and it's not pretty, but it works, you know. Under the stairs here, apart from the door going down to the cellar, is not going to be used by anything, so it doesn't need to be pretty. If it was going to be used as something a little bit more, I mean, more than likely what somebody will do is just put, you know, a table in front of this here, and that's all there is to it, really. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. So I can make yep, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to call this piece that's interesting, isn't it? So that's going to be stairs. I'm going to call it boxing because it's basically boxing in, and I need to move that to the collection stairs. Okay, so I know where it is. Makes more sense. what I could do is, I mean, that's basically all that's required for that, really. I'm going to keep the door that's going to go down very simple and plain. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. So I think what I'll do, let's just see, yeah, the door will be separate that. That's fine. Separate that door. Of course, it's got the modifier applied to it. I'm going to apply that. Actually, I could apply that as well, couldn't I now? I'm happy with that. Let's save this as a different revision. Save it as revision L. It's interesting, you used to be able to just press return twice and it would save it, but that's obviously one of those things they haven't really sorted out yet. The door does not need to be this big, so I'm going to... Now, is this scaling? That's fine. So I'm going to scale... Ooh, scaling on that. Scale Y. Doesn't need to be very big at all. And we're going to just bring that down to a more similar size to say about there. That's about right. I'm doing it again. I know that I'm becoming aware that I am actually doing it. I have seen other streamers doing it as well, where they sort of pull faces and bite their lip, and you know, they do kind of, I guess, their mannerisms really. Okay, that is fine. That is absolutely fine. So I want to, what size is that? So let's apply scale, because I played around with the scale. It's 0.09. Okay, let's just remember that. I'm going to increase the scale a bit because I need to use that as a boolean. Oh, duh. Just duplicate it. Scale, it doesn't matter then. So this is I'm guessing this is in the stairs. It is. So I'm going to call this under stairs door. Actually no, let's just call it basement door. The easiest thing to do really. And that is going to be our boolean for, so we're going to go through there. I just want to make sure that we're not okay, that's fine. So we're going to take that, we're going to add a boolean, and we're going to select that as an object. We're looking at the difference, and that's it. Apply that. See, now I think in theory we should be able to take that away. Yeah, we can. Okay. I don't know why it was doing that before. Don't need it. Okay, it kind of left. Don't really need that face. Okay, we've got two there. Right, okay, so this now means that this geometry down. I did think that I had to do that actually. So I'll tell you what now in a minute. It didn't go down, that's why I looked underneath to see whether there were any. So yeah, merge cursor at center. Ooh. I don't know where my statistics have gone down here. Mesh analysis. Don't know. Used to get statistics down here of what you'd highlighted. Maybe they haven't put that in yet. Just tidy up this. Okay. We now have a door. It's going to be very plain door that's going to go down there. Let's just get that out of the way. Now we need to cut a hole in the floor. So what I did wrong before, right, so I need to click away so that I'm not actually highlighting anything. Shift and tab bar, cursor. Let me put the cursor there. Shift, space bar, box select. Yes, that's much better. I like shortcut keys. I'm a big fan of shortcut keys as long as they're memorable. Right, so now I'm not clicking on anything. I'm in object mode anyway. Let's make a box to. I don't know why. We need to make a cutaway. In fact, actually, do you know what? This could actually just slice away because it's going to be, the floor is going to be on the inside of the wall. So scale on the Y, X rather. Okay. Don't really want it going through the wall. No, it isn't. Okay, that's fine. So GX, let's bring it all the way up to the back of there, which is fine. That's fine. And that's not cutting through the wall. Okay. So what is going to happen is, oh, we're way too far over there. G on the Y, let's go on the inside of there. That's fine. Because we don't want to slice through anything else or have gaps anywhere. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to take this floor, we're going to add a boolean. I love this method of cutting holes in things because it's clean, it's very easy, you're not messing around with geometry. I've seen you know, people using Blender and they spend so much time using the knife tool and doing all that, and it's just, yeah, okay, there is a place for that, but for stuff like this, just simple, just use a boolean. So we're just going to select that box and we're just going to apply the boolean, boom, hole cut. I mean, you don't need to do anything else. That's it. There is now a hole cut there in the floor for me to put some very simple stairs in to go down into the cellar. I move this back and up, I can now use exactly the same hole so we're right on the edge of the stairs there, which is absolutely fine. I'm going to move, well, actually, G. I'm going to move that about there. This hole needs to be right. I need to cut this there. Yep. And then bring this face back. Ooh. I need to bring that back. Where would the gap go? I suppose, I mean, if I think about our stairs, you go up maybe three stairs before you start seeing, you know, the gap in the ceiling and to go up, because, you know, you're going up the stairs, you don't really want to hit, well, I mean, if you were tall, you would actually hit, you know, the edge of that cutout, as it were. I don't know why I'm pointing to the screen. It's not. No one can see my screen where I'm pointing, but here, what I'm talking about is here. So when you're walking up the stairs, you don't, you know, if somebody was, you know, 6'3" or something, they're going to hit they would have to crouch down to go underneath here. And people were shorter in Victorian times. I mean, you know, there's no doubt about it. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting, this is for cutting the hole in the next floor up for the stairs to go up. So, GY, this really needs to come about there, doesn't it then?
This is a preview file. This is a preview file. This is a preview file. This is a preview file.
Okay, sorry about that. Back again. Well, my microphone seems to be behaving today, which is good news for a change. Okay, so yeah, we've got that. Why is that red? I don't know. Anyway, let's save this as we go along because we don't want to lose our work. Okay, so I think that's about right. The stairs you go up, boom, the hole through to the next floor will be roughly like this. I can always move it very, very slightly, but I think that's going to be about right. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. I'm not going to play around with it too much. So, don't really know quite why. Why did that have a red? Why is that red? There's no material on there. I've not seen that before. How very strange. Don't really know why. Anyway, let's apply scale to there and then we don't get any really odd. So let's just have a look at this in material. Rendered view? No, I don't know why that's red. That's a new thing. Interesting. Only when I'm in edit mode. How very strange. I've not seen that before. Unless that's a bug because I'm using the alpha 2.93 version. Possible. I don't know. Maybe that's a new feature, as they say. Right. Before I do anything else, let's save that. Let's bring back the first floor. Yep, that looks good to me. So the cutout is going to be around there. The stairs can come through. Ooh, there you go. It's a good job I did actually look because we don't want that, do we? So, yeah. So we don't want that to go beyond there. That's fine. So if I leave a bit of space, because I think, well, I think we're going to need to put, obviously, some sort of railing at the top here. Or no, I think that's fine. I think a nice little railing around the top there would look really well. And obviously I can take some geometry from that, or I can make it just really, really simple. But certainly the vertical spikes, as it were, these vertical rails, I can take them. So, okay, we want to highlight this floor. We're going to add a modifier, a Boolean modifier, and we're going to pick that object. Apply. There we go. let's grab this guy 1 minute. I thought for a minute that I may have screwed up big time, but he's 2 meters tall. So yeah, there's plenty of room there. So the stairs are actually quite big. Yeah, so when he's on the stair, yeah, that's fine. When he's walking on the stairs around there, he's not going to hit the, yeah, stairs are quite big. So that's fine. I thought maybe I'd cut this and screwed up there somewhere, because I've got this door here for this room that goes in this little room here, but yeah, okay. The door could be moved nearer to the wall, but I think that looks fine, because I shall just put a very small railing around here, little banister railing just around there. That will look fine. So we have the stairs. We have the stairs in. We have the cellar. The access point to the cellar is going to be down here. Very simple steps to go down. I don't need anything fancy at all. Right, let's save this. Microphone still working? Yes, it is. Okay, isn't that interesting? So, I don't know. I really don't know sometimes. But we don't have any music for some reason, because the music... Why is the music not playing? It's interesting. I'm playing... Oh, okay. It was just going in between one and the other, so that's fine. It was just a gap in between. Sorry, I thought it had actually stopped. Okay. Right, what do we want to do now? I'm going to make some very simple steps to go down, basically to the basement. They don't need to be... they don't need to be particularly... They just need to be straightforward steps. I'm not going to have anything like a banister or anything like that on there. Let's stick the cursor to the world orange in 1 minute. Okay, I can alter this. So we're just going to add. Ooh. Did I just add a blank then? No, I don't think I did. I don't know what I added there. Okay, so we want a simple cube. Doesn't need to be that big. Okay, we're gonna. These are just going to be the most basic steps ever. these can basically be, you know, resized to fit. They're going to just literally be very, very basic. Okay, this is about as basic as we're going to be getting, I think. Actually, the first step only needs to really go there. You know, you just got to try and think of every which way possible to save on a bit of geometry, because it's important to try and get detail in areas that matter rather than a set of steps that, you know, where this is going to be used. No one's going to really ever be looking at this steps and thinking, "Ooh, what a lovely pair of steps." You know, this is just a, you know, a servant's entrance down to a basement at the end of the day. So we're going to do this on an array. We want we're going to keep this really simple, really simple. Now, steps in a cellar tend to be actually fairly dangerous. Near enough all the steps I've ever seen are usually pretty dangerous. You know, they're very steep. They go down very quickly. You know, you very often don't have a banister on them. So, okay, let's just... No, I don't think anyone's going to be able to get down there, are they? Okay, I can always make this slightly bigger. In fact, I could actually do that now, just so that we can go back as far as the wall, just so that there's a bit more space. Ooh, we've got red again. What does that mean? Oh, now that's interesting. That only appeared when I... That's interesting. This must be a new thing. I wonder what that means. I've never seen that before in Blender. And it's only happened because I've moved that... I moved that geometry. I wonder, is it because I've... Is it warning me about... okay, so let's just undo this a minute. Okay. Oh no, see, now it's red again. It doesn't make any difference. Okay. I just wondered why that's gone red. It's obviously a warning for something. I don't know. It's new to me. It's new to me. Right, so that's pretty much gone as far as the wall. Okay. Kind of inclined to actually move the step. Actually, that might be a better option. There we go, then that drops down a little bit better. I'm going to leave the modifier on that because if I bring back the basement so we can see where we need to go down to, now remembering that that's going down, and this is this floor, this floor will be going down, and then that floor will be going up. So I think probably one more step is enough, or is it too much? I think it's too much. Anyway, I'm going to leave that modifier on because I you know, it's just a set of stairs that's going to go down into the basement, and that's it. I'm not going to do anything more than that. It's looking good. I'm pleased with it. Very pleased with it. Have we got anyone in chat? No one in chat. Okay. I do like these fireplaces. I so much like these fireplaces. Now I want to select the it's called basement door. I was looking for door. I want to make a very small handle for this. So G. Just bring that door back here. I'm not gonna close it as such. Little door handle, roughly there. I think will be fine. So of course now I want to add geometry to this door. I don't want it separated from anything else. Yep, I'm just checking the scale. So shift spacebar. Stop. Shift spacebar. I haven't quite got this yet. Cursor. There we go. I'm going to put the cursor. I think the door handle will be about there. Ooh, there. See, this is one thing I try to do with Blender. Every time I use it, I try to learn something extra. You know, either another shortcut or another way of doing something, or you know, something along those lines. Because you know, you just add to your knowledge all the time, and it just makes life a little bit you know, easier, and you just feel like you're learning. I always feel like I need to learn something. So now I'm still in edit mode. I'm going to add a cylinder, which we don't need to be massively detailed like that. We can get away with probably about a 6. No, let's do an 8. Yeah, a 6. I think a 6 would be fine. Or an 8. Okay, we don't need it that big, and it's going to align itself right to where I put the cursor. We don't need it that big, and we don't need it that big. So that's fine. done it again. Takes a little while for a new things like shortcuts to kind of get themselves in your so that's a select. That is such a brilliant thing as well. I want to rotate Y. Let's make sure it's going around the right way. It is. That's fine. I now need to G grab on the X. Okay, that's fine. Those blue lines sticking out of the faces of stuff are just telling me that the normals are around the right way. I want to scale this. Actually, yeah, let's scale it a little bit more. We go Shift X so that it doesn't move on the X. There we go. Okay, yeah, I think that's fine for a door handle. We want to add some more geometry to this. Let's do 4. Going to move it up that way a little bit. There we go. So that just gives us a bit more geometry to shape a door handle. Let me turn those things off because they're a little bit disconcerting. Oh, that's interesting. Now we've got 2 sides that have got green on them. I think this is just a bug. I think it's just a bug in so I want to highlight that one, scale on the X-axis. Scale on the X. Just a simple little handle, really. Don't need anything fancy. Here we go. Yeah, I think that's fine. It's just a door, simple door handle. Nothing else required really, it's just a very simple door handle. Okay. That is fine. It's a simple door handle. Right, so that's the basement door. We have the steps. The stairs are done to the first floor. Fireplaces are all done. I think we're pretty much there. Don't need this. Let's save, and we're going to save as another revision. One of the biggest things I think I've learned is to save revisions. I mean, I do this in my everyday work anyway. I do various different things in life. If anyone's ever interested, I could do just a chat in front of a camera, you know, about life and everything in it. Let's bring back the roof. The roof I don't think we need to do anything with. I'm not going to stick any extra chimneys on there. These chimneys are enough. We've got steps going down into the basement, which my opinion is more than enough, really. Come on, there we go. You know, you may well have had something go all the way down there, but you know, realistically, this is probably not really going to be used even in Second Life. I doubt it. It may or may not be, but anyway, like everything, it can all be changed. Okay, right. My only other thing is, hang on, I need a water. All this talking is making me thirsty. My only other thought is, I did actually mention about these windows, and I'm still of the opinion that from the inside, without adding too much more geometry to the windows, because when somebody is looking at this from the inside, I don't know, it will start adding considerable amount of geometry if I start filling this in and having the windows, you know, effectively 3D. See, what I'm thinking, if we look at this window, just as an example, from the front, this is going to be textured. So you're going to have a windowsill, which is one texture. I think I've textured these already. Yeah, so we've got windowsill, we've got the window pane, which is the glass, and then we have the window frame, which is obviously, you know, wood. Now, from the back, there is no geometry at the back, so when somebody looks through this from the inside out, it's just going to be a hole. There's literally just going to be a hole in the side of the wall. Whoa, somebody's speeding down the road. So I don't want to do anything that I'm going to regret. Am I going to regret it later on? I mean, I'm not going to regret it, but it may mean that I might have to do two windows. I might have to do a window that's got, you know, that's solid effectively, and then my idea is to take this, because basically this will go all the way around. Yeah. Ooh, that's literally okay. Wow, there's some nice things happening with this version, and then there's things that I don't understand what's happening with it. So my idea is to now, can I fill that in? Yes, I can. And now we've got that geometry. See, my thought is to have a texture that goes on the back of there, and I can create a 3D looking window frame as if they're looking out, you know, looking out the window. That's fine. That's fine. So it will considerably increase the geometry if I make these windows solid. And if I make a texture that makes it look like you're looking at the back of this window, generally speaking, people are not going to be, looking. They're going to have curtains up, Personally, I don't think they're going to notice any difference. From the outside, it will look, legitimate, and from the inside, it really only needs to look like you're looking out through a window. And all I've done is add one more face to get that effect. Oh, thinking. Do I leave it until another time? I was rather hoping that I could have started at least, assigning material slots for the various different parts of the house. The windows have got those. I need to add one more. The frame has got wood frame. There is some sort of spurious. I can only think that has got something to do with the way the geometry is. I mean, you don't see those in a previous version, so I suspect that this is something similar. We've got red, turquoise, and yellow. I wonder what that means. And they've got red under there as well. But it's only on part of it. How very strange. Which reminds me, actually, while I'm going around applying materials and such like to various things, I can remove geometry that's not required. Those faces are not going to be required. See, that's red. I don't know. I guess at some point... Ooh, no, that wasn't red earlier, and now it's red. It isn't a material. So it's telling me something, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. I guess we'll learn. I guess we'll learn at some point what that means. So, the roof has got a texture. The chimneys need a texture. Typically, okay, so we need to apply a material to that, which would be basically the chimney brickwork, I guess. So what we call the chimney pots at the top here, we need to go in Oh. Apply a new material. New. And assign that one. And this is going to be chimney pots. And then this will be typically made out of slab of something like concrete, but usually not concrete, or something made out of I don't know what you'd call it really. You assign so I suppose pot base, pot space. Now we can take that and we highlight that. We go Control L, materials. We should have the same materials and assignments on the other chimney because it's exactly the same. So deselect, chimney pots, select. Now then, probably that, and then click on that. Nope. Control L. We want to transfer UV maps. Okay. We're good. Saves a lot of time. Each one of those has got materials assigned. What will happen? Now I could be really posh, actually. For the walls, all the outside of the walls will have the same texture, and I'm thinking with each room I could have multiple, so each room could have a different texture on it. Is that overcomplicating things? Possibly. Okay, let me think about that. Let's save as we go along. Anyone in chat? Anyone? No one? Obviously Saturday is a bad time to stream. See, what I'm thinking, what I am thinking is, if we hide the roof, I mean, let's just do the first floor and the basement. Okay, so what I'm thinking of texture-wise, materials, the floor will be, you know, oak floor all throughout, I think, and then it'll be up to an individual to put down their own, you know, carpet. Each room on the outside there will be one texture. On the inside there will be, I'm thinking that I could split this up actually. I could actually put a material into each room. That might look really, really good. That means that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 materials. Excuse me. It'd be 5 materials basically, and it would be the same on the first floor. Basement, I don't think anyone really cares. It'll be the same really. I might do that. I think that might be really nice. And so this wall would have the same material as this. The sides of these two dividing walls will have the same material, you know, all of that, and then vice versa. Cool. I think that might be really nice. Relatively easy to do as well, because those dividing walls are not really going to move. Okay. Right, so if I bring back the basement, the first floor, all of these are going to have the same material. New material, exterior, wall. So they're all going to have the exterior wall material, which is absolutely fine, because I've got an exterior wall texture that will look perfect on this. So I'm just thinking now. You see, if I add a it's not going to go around, is it? It's only going to go around the outside. So it's not even doing that, is it? So I'm adding a loop cut. That's not going to work. But what will work is me adding a I wish there was a way. Knife. I wish there was a way on the knife to go in a vertical direction. So, snap to an edge. Okay, so on a snap to an edge. So let's just do it here. See, there, right? So that works, it snaps to an edge. But there doesn't seem to be a way of keeping it, like, vertical. Ooh. There doesn't seem to be a way of, you know, like I could press a key that would then make it literally 90 degrees. So the only way I can think of is that you cut that and the only other way of doing it is to do this. Ooh, does that mean? Ah, there's already a cut there because it's actually behind the. Okay, okay. Ooh. So, I think this is worth doing. It's going to be complicated, but I think it's worth doing. It's going to be tedious, but as I say, I think it's going to be worth doing. So I need to get. Why do I have to? Oh, okay, right, yeah, that's fine. So what I need to do is to make sure that that is in the middle of that wall. Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay, so if I select that, that's fine. And then I can make sure that that's in the middle of that wall. Oh, okay, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. Okay, right, so for anyone watching, what have I just done? So what I'm actually trying to do is, on this wall, split this up so that I can have a material that's on the inside face of this wall that will be the same for that wall and that wall. And this is how you have to divide up your mesh to get it to work like that. So if I select, you see that wall there is all one wall. If I cut it down the middle, that face, then I can have a material for that and that. And so what I'm going to do is select this. Boink. See how that material, that wall is now selected inside that room, and it's gone halfway, you know, behind the wall, so that it will marry up basically. Yeah, I'm guessing that the inside of these. Yeah, I mean this is tedious now because we are putting materials onto. Yeah, that's interesting. That is very interesting. Why these downward facing faces are red? Okay, so that's worked. That's worked. Okay, just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to start wasting time. And of course, if we select the outside face, the whole face is selected. See, it's selected all the way around because it's the exterior of the house. See, now I've gone too far, but now I've selected that whole wall. That works. Tedious process, but it works. And I think this is the difference between you know, having a house in Second Life that just looks like it's been rushed and built, and you know, and all the walls are exactly the same in every single room. You know, you can have the floor the same, because typically the floors would have all been made of oak anyway, oak planks, just like this, the house that I'm in now. All the floors are the same, so you know, but the walls you can change, you can paint them, you can put wallpaper on them, do what you like with them. So we're gonna do this on all of this. So hang on, let's just make sure. So what I can do is I can go okay, I'm going to start from there, I'm going to go all the way down there to that one, we come out, press enter. That's actually not a very good idea, is it? Because okay, no, I think that'll be fine. So if I select that, that's fine. Go from the front. We go into X-ray mode. There we go. All I have to do now is now go into vertex mode and select each of these vertices and just line it up in the middle of that wall, because then I know that the material there we go, control GG to move it along the edge that the vertex is on, so that it just moves along that line. Okay, so now that particular wall I can put 3 different textures on, and those textures will apply to the inside of the room that it's in. So if we go back to solid view, if I select that one, there you go, perfect. Yeah, it's worth doing. So I don't need to do anything on here because that's all one, that'll be all one room, you see. Okay, so then that's one texture, that's another, that'll be the same texture, and now I need to divide up those ones, and that one, and that one, and then that's it. I'm going to have to call these rooms, I'm going to have to give them names, I think, for each of the textures, so that I know, for the materials rather, so that I know, ooh. This is turning into rather a posh house. I'm actually really pleased with the way this is going. So you can see, if I select that, you see you've got the texture goes all the way across, that wall goes all the way across, and so now I need to cut it, the faces on this side, so that I can break up the material. If anyone wants to know what keys I'm pressing, this was one of the killing things when I first started in Blender. You get these sheets, okay? You get this kind of shortcut, keys. You can do things pretty much from the menu if you like menu-driven stuff. You can use the menus to get around, but it's much easier if you can memorize the keys. And I always have, the latest shortcut keys for Blender, because there's always, as I say, I always like to learn something. One of the things that used to throw me off, and it was when I first started using Blender, it was one of those things that actually I stopped using Blender for, because I found it so irritating. So, I mean, I'm moving around this, and typically you press the middle wheel key to zoom in and out. So you scroll it to zoom in and out, and then in order to actually do this panning, you just press the middle mouse button down, and you just move the mouse around and you pan. Now if I want to do this, I have to press the shift key on the keyboard and then press the middle mouse button. So if I wanted to look there, I move the cursor here, and now if I move, you see, it doesn't actually move how you think, because I've got that selected. And then of course, once you started scrolling around and moving and doing this, after a little while, what tends to happen is, you scroll around and you think, well, actually, I want to scroll around that door, and I'm not scrolling around that door. Why am I not scrolling around that door? And you can end up, like a long way away or very, very close up, and you can't get out of like that kind of thing. And this is what used to happen a lot. And I'd sit there going, oh my goodness, why can't I just, and I don't know whether you just saw it there a little while ago, that I seem to be moving really, really slowly. You could see that's a normal scroll in and out, which is quite fast. So I can click on something and then scroll in and out, but I'm still not really scrolling in and out to that particular point. And what happens, see, look, I'm scrolling in now and I'm not scrolling to that door. If I highlight that fireplace, I'm still not scrolling to that door, that fireplace. It's a little bit disconcerting really. So I can move like this, but then see, I'm now turning the mouse and I'm not zooming in, okay, because and I zoom out and it's it's like walking through syrup, and that's as far as I can zoom in, okay. And you think, oh my goodness, what on earth is going on? Used to drive me up the wall, and now it's getting worse and worse and worse. So when I start zooming, see now, look, you think, oh my goodness, all I want to do is to look at that fireplace and zoom in. Yeah, so I'm trying to, you end up doing this, and then when you press the shift key, you move around even less, and it just gets really frustrating. See, look, I'm having to move a lot in order to just pan around, and now I'm trying to zoom in and I can't get any closer than that, and when I pan, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. So anyway, it used to drive me up the wall, and when I first started, I used to keep thinking, wow, this is really irritating, what on earth is it? And there's just one key you have to press, the period key or the full stop key, and that's it. Now I can zoom around, I can go in and out. And not one person I watched on the videos ever said, oh, if you get stuck like that, all you have to do is to press the period key or the full stop key on the number keypad, and that's all you have to do. You do that, it centers whatever it is you're clicked on, and then you can move around. And once I learnt that, it just completely transformed my attitude towards Blender. And you know, and I just thought, well, why on earth can't they just, you know, because it is one of the most frustrating things, especially when you're new to the program, and you think, well, all I want to do is just, you know, move around what I'm building easily. But anyway, that's a bit of a waffle. Okay, so I'm going to try and do that. I'm going to try and get that centered as much as I can. There. Ooh, okay. Go back a minute. Okay, doesn't really matter. I can go there. I might have to just move. You move away from the last line and you press enter, and that's it. Now that's split. Now we go to X-ray mode, which is the easiest one to go in, really. If we look at the back, so now I can see that that's not really I need to make sure that I've got the right one. Yep. And that I haven't got the one behind. So I can go GG. Yep. GG. Just follow the one that's on the other side of the wall. GG. Right down the middle. GG. Down the middle. And there we go. Boom. I always get into a habit of just checking that everything is actually as I expect it to be. Okay, there we go. And now we've got a material that we can assign to that room. Anybody else watching? Nope. No one watching today. No viewers. Okay, I can waffle on as much as I like then. If I do something like that, I might be able to get a more accurate. Right, so knife tool there. And if we just go right down to the bottom, that looks about right. Okay. Got a feeling actually that looked like a much better cut. Yeah, that is a much better cut. That went pretty much, apart from that one at the bottom. Wow, that was pretty much a perfect cut. Can't even see the line behind it. Right, the line behind it I keep talking about is the other side of the wall where we did cut down, and so we're looking at this building in orthographic mode, which is dead on with no perspective, and so therefore I know that the vertices and the edges are lined up, the cut is lined up correctly. Right, so now we can select this wall. If I get that like that. It's pretty much lined up. It used to drive me up the wall doing it in X-ray mode. And eventually you get to learn. It's like your eyes seem to put some form of perspective on there. And you end up actually learning to view things how Blender is viewing it almost. It's a little bit unnerving, really. Okay, so we got a perfect cut there. Why have we got a vertex in the middle? Oh no, we haven't. Alright, okay. That's pretty much dead on. Alright, and now I need to do on the other side, and then that's it. See, we've got that problem again, you know, the lack of movement and the lack of zoom. Right, so I need to come out there. I'll get a little bit more back, which is fine, but it's not enough. So what I actually need to do, see, is just press the period key, boom, and then we've got everything back again. In fact, actually no, let's just do that and then we can zoom out better. That's interesting, isn't it? Oh, that's going all the way through. Ah, very interesting. Okay. But anyway, we are fine. So we want to go pretty much straight down there. There we go. Now if I view that, we are very accurate. Yeah, it is pretty much dead on. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant. There we go. This wall actually needs to move slightly more. Nope. Of course I've got that on still. I actually don't need that anymore. This wall is just very slightly ooh, it's the 3 key. It's the 3 key I'm pressing that gets rid of everything. Why does the 3 key do that then? I wonder. So I'm in object mode and I press 3, it gets rid of everything. It hides everything. Don't know why. I'm in face select mode. Come on. Thank you. We just need to make that wall literally just touch. And because I've... oh no, okay. It hasn't scaled anything. It's fine. So I'm happy with that because we now have materials. So if I divide that wall up and select that face, we got one there, one there. We got obviously that face there, and we got a face that side, and a face there. So that's going to look really nice. It's laborious and it's boring and it's tedious and all of those other things, but the finished product will be really nice. It will be really nice because you could have wallpaper in one room. You know, you could have paint in the other one or a different color in one. So I think that will look actually really, really good. That's going to look really good. I keep pursing my lips. When I'm thinking, I can feel it now because I notice that I do it when I play the video. When I look at the video back and just play it back a little bit. I'm tensioning up my lips. Basement texture, we don't really need to see the basement. Okay, we've done the first floor, we just need to do the ground floor. So it's pretty much the same process again. Doesn't actually take that long, to be honest with you. I think when you first start off you think, oh my goodness, this is going to take forever, but it's like everything. You put a bit of effort into something, it's going to look good. It will inevitably look good because you've spent time doing something. Did I just cut through the floor then? No, I didn't. I thought I cut through the floor, but I didn't do that at a very good angle. Ooh, this is not good. When you're in object mode, you press... What is that doing? How do I find out what that's doing? So I press the number 2 key or the 3 key and it just, everything disappears. Q. I don't know. I'm just looking through the menus to try and find out what those keys do. I don't know whether it's on here. So when you're in object mode, 2, 3. Edge select mode. No. That's an edit mode, not object mode. Object mode doesn't have anything for those keys. That's interesting. Okay, it's obviously a bug. It's a bug. Okay, so we've got the whole line there, and it's at a funny angle, so yeah, that's fine. So up the top was fine, down the bottom here we ended up with, we need to move that over there. And that there. Okay, there we go. We've got a perfect line. Let me do each room on its own. I think that might be a good idea. Ooh, I might stay in X-ray mode. That might be better because it looks, it's easier to try and get it in the middle. So I need the knife tool from there to go all. Oh yeah, why didn't I think of that before? Hey, no, I don't have to. Oh, you're kidding me. I could have done that all along. There you go. So I still don't think that that is 100% in the middle. Is it? It is. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Very slightly move that over. There we go. I'm being finicky now. So, knife tool. We go from there to there, roughly. You go away and you press enter. Ooh. There we go. What did I do just there? I have no idea what I just... Oh, no, 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 no. Ah, I know why. Because I'm doing that on the outside, and of course it's cutting even the outside of the wall. That's why. Yeah. Right. Don't be clever. Don't be clever. Bada bing. Pretty sure. I'm kind of confident that that has gone right down the middle. Yes, it has. You kind of get used to switching. X-ray mode is actually really good, and then we've got this kind of ghosting mode, which means that you can kind of see through the walls, which is pretty neat. But that came in a couple of versions ago, but the X-ray mode has always been around, and I used to hate it before. I never really liked it. So if we do the opposite wall, let's do this one. Let's do this one. I didn't think about doing this in X-ray mode. It's interesting, isn't it? No, don't jump the gun. Come on. Stop getting... I'm getting overconfident now, and that's just a bad thing to do. So don't get overconfident. Stay within, and then you don't cock up. You see, look at that. Why didn't I do that before? There you go. You see, I don't even need to look at that, because I just know that that's right behind the wall and it doesn't make any difference. Now we need to do this wall, select this wall. There we go. Okay. Knife, boink. Doink. Go a little bit away and press enter. Bada bing. And I'm again confident that that is pretty much, that is hidden behind the wall and no one's going to see it. That's fine. And all I need to do, like the other side upstairs, was to shift this wall over and size it properly. So now we select this one. Okay. And we go there. And we want to go down to the bottom. And that's the bottom. And a little bit away. Boink. And again, I'm kind of confident that that has... That's right in the middle of that wall. Just a tad. There we go. Now we need to select this. And we need to make sure GX that touches the wall that side. Okay. And that's interesting. So it doesn't quite go far enough this side. There we go. Right. Well, that didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take. So now that leaves me to do the materials, which is going to be relatively easy to do because I literally just need to go around each room. I think I will call each room something. I think I need to call them something different so that I can assign the materials correctly for each room. Might do the... No, I was just thinking that I could do the downstairs, you know, when you go through the front door, that the walls will be the same as the first floor landing, but I don't think that necessarily needs to be like that. Be just as nice to have different materials on that. Might even, you know, assign materials but not even texture them in Blender, because you know that could actually be done in Second Life quite easily, because there are some really nice textures that you can buy in World that would look, you know, Victorian style textures. I'll see. So the floors are going to be good. The ceilings are going to be one texture. The floors will be wood. The ceilings... What did we have on Victorian ceilings, I wonder? Let's have a look. I know they used to have, like, yeah, they used to have sort of plaster, an architrave, or coving, I think it's called. Yeah, coving that goes around the edge. Yeah, plaster coving, and then you've got sort of designs that were, but these were in really posh houses. You wouldn't have necessarily had such large things. The coving, now in my Victorian shop, which I've not ever streamed on here because I made it quite a while ago, I had a very simple coving that went around the edge. Do I do that on here? I mean, that's going to start adding a lot of geometry. It could be kept very simple. It doesn't need to be crazy complicated. It's becoming a very detailed Victorian house. How much of that do I do? I mean, in the really posh houses, yes, there was quite complicated coving around the corners of, you know, the ceiling around. And then in some houses you had really quite detailed, I guess, depending on the amount of money that you had, I guess. You know, you obviously paid to have your ceiling covered in, you know, you could either have it painted or you could have these plaster designs. Very nice. I still think actually in sort of the front door area, this kind of area here, and then on the first floor, I think it might be nice to have kind of a chandelier. Very small one, but I think it might look nice to have a chandelier, or at least, you know, a hanging light, an up light sort of hanging from the ceiling But yeah, I think a chandelier might look good. So textures were good. Going around and assigning materials to all of this again will be really, really tedious, and I certainly don't want to start it now. I mean, I've been streaming for how long? Nearly 2.5 hours. I need a break, really, and no one's watching, so it doesn't really matter. I don't have, 50 people in chat watching. I have no one apart from a mod, so I'm still in two minds about the windows. I might just keep thinking actually whether it's going to start getting, if I put coving in, I think coving might suit this place, this building, and I think it could be put in relatively easy as well. And it needs to only be fairly simple. Right, let's save. Okay, now this needs to be, so we need, so this is cellar, or no, let me call this basement, because I'm calling it basement stairs, okay, that needs to be moved to the basement area, that's fine. I think this is beginning to look really quite neat. In a way, I'm not in a hurry to finish it. I'd much rather it looked good. What I will do, I will save a revision and then assemble the house, as in, get everything lined up, just to make sure that I haven't, that I haven't got anything really majorly outstanding. And I will just save that as a random file, play around with actually fixing everything in place, and then on my live file, which I'm up to revision M for mother at the moment, I can then adjust and make adjustments, for instance, so that's fine. Did I think I did adjust the walls. Yes, I did. I adjusted the internal walls. That's fine on both floors. Yeah. So a couple of outstanding things then. I'm still debating. Okay, so we have coving, right? Let me get my project list up and let's do this properly, because it is a big enough project, I think, that requires, this is not a small build. This is a build that's a bit like my ship, and my ship is. I've really got to focus on getting that ship done, actually. Which reminds me, I must do a couple of emails to people and ask them about stuff. So, what I'm going to do is very simply just write down. Let's get a blue pen. So the Victorian house. Okay, so Victorian house. Okay. So to do, right, so we've got we need apply materials. Okay, B, I need to really make a decision. So coving in each room. C. Would they have had a house that had all coving? Or yeah, they would have done, because I have seen it. I have seen it in Victorian houses where you go in but you get the same coving. So whoever, because the coving wasn't pre-made like it is today, the coving would have been customized for every single house. And so, you know, they would the person that did the coving could have been the plasterer, would have custom made coving for each house that they made, and that's why they're all different. Apply materials, coving in each room. Yeah, they would have done, and then and the coving would have always been white. And I can let me just make that low poly. It doesn't need to be highly complicated. The coving I did in the Victorian shop that I made, again, was actually quite simple. It doesn't need to be particularly complicated, but it does look effective. I must admit, it does look effective, and it will be white. What was the other thing? Oh, and the rear. The rear texture for all windows, right? And I've got two textures to make for that, because there's two styles of windows. Do I make the chandelier? I think if someone was to put lighting in a place like that, a chandelier, they would probably buy it themselves and put it in, if they were really gonna, you know, be focused on doing that. Do I put in gas lighting? That would be nice. You know, because like real life, they would have had gas lighting in the beginning, and then converted to electric later on. I mean, that could be something. That again, you know, I could put the fittings in. You know, the fitting to make the gas fittings. Okay, so if I put down gas lighting, that could be maybe okay. To all faces. Okay. Can't think of anything else. I had thought the other day whether I should whether or not I should build the you know, where this, because obviously this door is underneath the step is going to be ground level, and this basement will be sunk underneath, and so I'm wondering whether I should make a very simple kind of surround, you know. I mean, I know it would typically the only bit that would be exposed, as it were, would be the ground around the windows. But then the ground can be moved in Second Life. Or do I make this you know, I could actually make this so that it's kind of got a ground level. You know, so that the basement floor would actually sit on the ground in Second Life, but there would be, you know, I would build mesh ground that would go around it. No, I don't think it's necessary, because if anyone was to buy this house or, you know, rent this house, then the ground would be automatically bulldozed around in order for this to sink down in the ground underneath. Okay, I'm waffling because I'm tired. Okay, if you are continuing to still watch these as I progress through, then I thank you for continuing to watch, because it means a lot that people are still wanting to actually watch this progression and come with me on the journey. I mean, I enjoy streaming, I enjoy sharing what I'm doing, and I just hope that other people are. That's all I really ask for. And it's just nice to sort of have people come along, you know, that I know people are watching the videos, because when I go in the day after, I see that, you know, quite a lot of people have actually watched the video. So the only thing you don't know, which I find a little bit, with YouTube, you kind of get to know how long someone's been watching a video for. With Twitch, you don't know whether somebody's just watched it for 5 minutes, even though, you know, the video is like 2.5 hours long. There's no way of really knowing that information. How does this look in rendered view? Let's just have a look. I think it will look really weird. Ooh. Yeah, it's too dark. Light's not getting through. Need a chandelier on the inside with some lighting. But okay. So thank you very much again for watching and enjoying my videos and such like, and do please follow if you'd like to see more of this kind of thing. This is quite a large project, and so, you know, it's taking time, and I'm not a speed designer by any means. I like to take my time because I like to get things right, and I don't really like making things and then having to go back and recorrect it because I didn't think about it in the first place. So I may be a little bit slow for some people with regard to that, but you know, I enjoy it. I find it therapeutic to do this, and I must admit, I am actually really looking forward to having this finished and built and completed and bringing it into Second Life with the proper physics, etc. And I think people will be, I hope that people will be impressed with it. Anyway, thank you very much. I'll end the stream now, and I shall see you again another day.